Hello, happy Pride, happy Pride, happy Pride Month, happy Pride. Welcome to Alyssa Jean's Reviews. My name is Alyssa, and this is my special Pride Month video where I will talk about what Pride means to me. And I'm not going to do my usual HRT update this month. This video was originally billed as one which I would do my HRT update, and then I changed it to, well, I'll do what Pride means to me with an HRT update. But honestly, I don't have any update for you. I do have an appointment at the end of June, so I will have an update for you in July. So we're going to push that back until July, and this video will be what Pride means to me, and I'm going to talk about that in two different ways. So what the feeling of Pride means to me, and then what the literal Pride Month festivities and my forthcoming participation in them means to me. But though I'm not talking about my HRT, there is one thing I do want to talk about before I dive into the crux of this video, what Pride means to me. There was an anniversary that passed recently, not my HRT anniversary because that's not until August, but I don't know the exact date. I know it was sometime in early June after my birthday, which was June 1st. And that is the 2-year anniversary for the last time that I got my hair cut short. So my hair has been continually growing since that time. Maybe I don't have the best hairstyle today to demonstrate that. You can see it's gotten longer. So it's been 2 years. When I normally wear my hair out and it's curly and wavy, it makes it appear that it is not as long as it is if I really brush it out. Like if I were to brush out all the curls and make it like just flat, which I have done a couple times. I don't think I've recorded any videos that way. It definitely appears to be longer than it appears to be when it is curly. And now, how can you tell it? Oh, now I have it in pigtails. So for those of you actually who watched my latest review for Star Trek Strange New Worlds, yes, I did record this video on the same day that I recorded that video, which is why I have the same outfit and the pigtails in both videos. And that review ended up being tied into Pride Month unexpectedly. I didn't mention it in that review, but how it's tied into Pride Month, but it is, and especially that review because I'm sitting there fawning over the guest star in that episode, her name is Jessie James Keitel, a non-binary queer femme who uses she/her pronouns, who I had not seen before, but now I'm going to check out her other work. She was in Queer as Folk and Big Sky, and I have a major crush on her now. She was amazing. Anyways, so that kind of tangentially is related to Pride. My hair, yes, 2 years has been growing out, and I just want to keep it growing and growing and growing, and if it went all the way down my back, I'd be totally fine with that. So just keep going and going. Also, dyed it again. This is Arctic Fox, which is semi-permanent brand that I use. It's vegan and cruelty-free and all that stuff. Last time I did just the red, which is Poison, is the name of that color. This time I mixed the Poison, the red color, with the orange color, which I think is called Sunset Orange. I don't know. So I kind of mixed them both together and got this color, which I think is closer to what I was going for with just the Poison, but because my hair, natural hair color is a little darker, it didn't quite turn out that way. So this is actually the color that I went, and I still have half the bottle of each of those, so when this starts to fade in about 6 weeks, I will probably redo it with this same mixture. Also for Pride, the Pride festivities upcoming, I did get a eyebrow wax, which I do every month or two, and got my nails kind of Pride colors, or the transgender flag colors. I got the pink, I got the white, but they're kind of sparkly, and and I got them to do pointy. Sometimes I go into this place where I get my nails done, and they ask me what shape, and I try to explain pointy. You know, they're Korean, and so some of them understand English better than others. So I went there previously, and I was like pointy, and they didn't know what I was talking about. So I ended up with kind of more roundy nails. But I love these. Absolutely love them. So all ready for Pride Month, all ready for the Pride festivities this weekend. It's supposed to rain, which kind of sucks. So maybe that'll change. Maybe it won't rain. I don't know. Anyways, enough of the preamble. Let's get into the heart of this video, where I talk about what Pride means to me in 2 different ways. Okay, now first I'm going to talk about what Pride means to me in the literal sense. Pride, the feeling. Proud of being trans, proud of being who I am, and why celebrating that in this month is really important to me. And I have talked about this in some of my previous videos. Certainly when I did my trans life videos almost a year ago now, I really talked about how I was made to feel really ashamed about even thinking about, even like so much as putting on a skirt or anything that would be considered remotely feminine. Even thinking about doing that, I just felt deeply, deeply ashamed, and I always thought about not only dressing feminine, but being feminine and being a girl and wishing that I was born a girl and all of these things. And I was made to feel really ashamed, and not by any particular person, but just by society in general, just by what I watched on television. And I did do a video about that about a year ago, how the media affected my trans identity, and just the people around me, and just like how being LGBTQ in general was treated, although we didn't have those letters back then. We're talking about the 80s and 90s. And just how, where I grew up in Maryland, like just how that was looked upon. I didn't know of any LGBTQ people in my high school. Nobody was open. No one was out. I know that in retrospect that there definitely were some in my high school, but we were all hiding, like we were all afraid. And for me, I wasn't just hiding. I was terrified of even admitting that I was what I would later learn to be called transgender, although I didn't have that terminology back then. I was absolutely terrified that might be what I am, because I have had it drilled in me by that point that being that is a terrible thing to do. That means you're subhuman. That means you're less than. You're like the lowest of the low scum of the earth. That is what I had learned being trans would be. So I was deeply terrified of being that and hated myself with the thought of that I might be that. So that's my starting point. That's like my teenagehood, talking late 80s, early 90s. So it took a very long time. As some of you may know, I didn't come out until I was 46. So it took a really long time and a lot of work to overcome that. And a lot of that was gaining knowledge, learning about what it means to be trans. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. This whole argument about, transgender people didn't exist until 5 years ago. They're just, all of a sudden it's trendy to be trans. No. There's more knowledge out there. There's more information out there. So those of us who didn't understand what we were now are armed with that knowledge that we can start to learn who we are and then live that way. So it's not that we're just, trans people are just coming out of nowhere. It's just more information is out there. We're seeing more people like us out there. We're seeing more people in the media like us. And so that makes us more comfortable to be ourselves. But we have always been that way. We just have been in hiding. So it took so long to overcome that and to live as my true, genuine self and just feel comfortable just interacting with people as myself and just going out in the world as myself. It took so much that I feel a great sense of pride, literal pride. I think it's a great word for it. In the fact that I can now be who I am and I'm comfortable in being who I am. And there is a little bit of spite in that. There's a little bit of a big middle finger, fuck you, to all of the people out there in the world who made me feel really bad about myself for even remotely thinking that I could be anything other than, a cis hetero normative male, because that's what I was told I had to be if I wanted to be accepted. And I grew up as a person who was bullied. I grew up as a person who was kind of a nerd. I already had a low opinion of myself, even as a cis heteronormative male. So the fact that I could be less than that, I don't know. I never contemplated suicide personally, but you understand that there are a lot of trans teens in the past and the present and will be in the future who have not only contemplated that but have carried out on it. So that's how horrible things are. So the fact that I was able to overcome that and I get to just be who I am. I have this YouTube channel where I do videos where I can just be who I am. I go out to bars. I go out to fish shows. I go out to my work, and I just get to be who I am. So there is a lot of pride in that. And there is, a little bit of fuck you to all the people who made me feel like shit my whole life. And it's not really any specific person. It's just kind of more like a general societal thing. And it wasn't always intentional. But I still feel very proud to be where I am today. So that's what pride, the feeling, means to me in terms of Pride Month. And I am glad that we have this month to celebrate that feeling because I think it's very, 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 very important. Now, let me talk about more like what the actual Pride festivities mean to me and what participating in them mean to me or will mean to me, since as of this recording, I have not yet done so. Okay, so as of this recording, I am still a couple days out from some weekend festivities. We have our local Pride parade on Sunday, and then the day before that on Saturday, there is a trans Pride block party. Originally was going to be a trans Pride march, which I guess they have done in the past. And it's supposed to rain because this is freaking Portland. This is the Pacific Northwest, so I wish it would be nice and sunny like it is right now as I'm recording this. I should be outside actually, not recording this stupid video. But it's not stupid, obviously, but you know what I mean. Like, I don't know. I hope it doesn't rain too much. But I have been looking forward to this for about 2 years. So last year was the first Pride Month on which I had been out already, because the Pride Month before that in 2020 is the month where I decided I was going to transition, but I didn't come out to anyone until July. But both in 2020 and in 2021, there were no live Pride festivities. At least not in my town. They did do like an online thing, which I didn't participate in because I've done plenty of interactions with trans and queer folk online. Like, I wanted to do like the celebration, but I wasn't expecting there to be anything in person last year. We were still kind of coming out of COVID. Things weren't quite opening up yet. Things did open up in July last year and then closed down again later in the fall, but I don't want to get too sidetracked by that. So the point is, 2022, the first year in which I will get to participate in Pride activities ever. So I don't really know what to expect. I kind of expect that there might be a little bit of commercialism involved, a little bit of people trying to make money. So, it's Portland, so I don't think we'll be too corporate sponsored, but, expecting a little bit of that. Um, but, oh, in addition, I forgot to mention, besides the parade and the Trans Block Party, there's also a big thing that happens, Pride Festival that happens on the waterfront in downtown Portland. So I'll be probably in and out of that as well on both days. Anyways, so what I'm hoping to get out of this is one with the trans pride portion of it particularly. I hope I get to connect with other trans individuals a little bit, even if we don't end up like becoming friends long term or whatever. Even if I just have some conversations, because other than the trans support group that I go to every week, I haven't had a whole ton of interaction with other trans people. I do have one trans friend who came out a couple years before I did, who is in kind of my greater circle of friends. And there's the trans folks that I know at the group that I go to. And I've had a couple of other interactions here and there, but I'm really disconnected with the community in person. I'm on a couple of Facebook groups, and I've been in Reddit groups and things like that where I've interacted with trans people online, but it's not the same as in person. So I am hoping to make new connections, or at least have some pleasant conversations with other trans people, if nothing else, at the very least. But thinking of it as a larger LGBTQ community, I'm hoping that I come away with a sense of camaraderie and community among all of us. Now, I do think it's important for us to celebrate our own separate prides, so for us to have the trans pride, for lesbians to celebrate their specific pride, for gay men to celebrate their specific thing. I think it's important for people who have the same, what do you want to call it, gender identity, orientation, whatever, to kind of come together and bond for their specific portion of the LGBTQ community, because it is different. It's a different experience. Being a trans woman is different than being a cis lesbian. It's different than being a cis gay male. Being a trans man is different than all of those. Being non-binary is different than all of those. Being, they're different experiences. So I think we don't want to take away from that fact by lumping us all into LGBTQ. We don't want us to pretend that we don't all have our own unique experiences, because we do. But at the same time, it is really, really important that we all recognize that we are all in this together. When they are passing bills like the Don't Say Gay bill in Florida, it is against gay and trans people, both. The homophobes and transphobes are the same people. They don't distinguish between us at all. They see us all as the same thing, less than, subhuman. We need to take away their rights. That is how we are all seen. So we also need to see ourselves as being together as well, and we need to stand up and fight together. And I did a video about this, my transphobia within the queer community video that I did. I was talking specifically about lesbian TERFs, which, from my experience thus far, seems to be the segment of people within the larger community that are most likely to be TERFs, or most likely to be transphobic. Is there a very small portion of the lesbian community that is also very vocal? And I said in that video that I wish they would figure out that we are all in this together, that when they are saying transphobic things, or saying that trans women are actually men, and those sorts of things, that they are actually agreeing with their own oppressors. Their own oppressors. The people who say that about trans people also say the same thing about lesbians, how they are less than as well. So it drives me crazy that there are people within the greater LGBTQ community that are siding with their own oppressors. And honestly, it's not just within the LGBTQ community. I said this about Dave Chappelle as well, because does he not get that the people who were standing up for him and saying that people are trying to cancel him and applauding him for his transphobic comments are racist? Does he not understand that? They are also racist. He is also siding with his own oppressors. Anyway, it drives me nuts. You can't both be an oppressed person and then oppress others, because when you oppress others, you're going to be joining along with your oppressors. Do you not understand that? So it is extremely important that all of us, all of the letters, LGBTQIA, everything, all of us, and the P, I wish the P should be in there, pansexual, everybody, everyone, all of us need to be united. And that doesn't mean we can't each celebrate our own individual unique experiences, but we all need to be together. So I'm hoping that I get a sense of that this weekend. As I said, I'm a little leery about how corporatized it might end up being, but I want to walk away with a sense of community, and I hope that that's what I walk away with. So I will be doing a live video on Monday, June 20th. I'll put the time in the description below, because I can't remember what time I said I was going to do it. It was 4 or 5 West Coast time. And I will be kind of debriefing, talking about how it went. So please check that out. But hopefully it doesn't rain too much. So those are the two things I want out of it. Reconnect with the trans community, and then also hopefully come away with like a sense of unity from the LGBTQ plus community as a whole. Okay, so that is it. That's all I got for this. If you're finding me for the first time, please subscribe. I do monthly videos on my trans identity or trans issues in general. This month I have 3 different videos I'm doing, and because it's Pride Month, you know. I also cover Star Trek and Star Wars and the MCU and those nerdy type of things. So if you're into that, you can check out my channel for that as well. But if you just want to watch my trans content, that is totally fine too. Please subscribe, and like. And once you subscribe, ring the bell, hit the bell for the notifications. And happy Pride, happy Pride, happy Pride. Goodbye, everyone.